Mercedes pretty much invented the idea of the saloon that thinks it's a coupe with the original CLS, and now the second generation version aims to continue the success of its stylish predecessor. It may have a similar sloping roof, but the new car's design is very different, with muscular rather than elegant lines. But while definitely more macho, it's no less head-turning than the original. The CLS may appear to have a short rear end, but it's actually got quite a decent sized boot. It's not really much smaller than that. On the E-Class Plus, you can get this handy boot box, which extends so you can stop your groceries rolling about all over the place. I find this automatic boot shutting mechanism quite handy too. Now, you might think it takes a while to close, and indeed it is a lot slower than just going like that. But imagine your hands are tied up like you've got arms full of shopping. You can shut the boot this way. You see, not so pointless after all, is it? While the CLS may be based on the E-Class, its interior has more of a feel of the S-Class about it because it's more upmarket. And just check out the design of the dash. Looks very nice, doesn't it? And I especially like the shiny surrounds for the instrument dials. As for build quality, the car feels well made and equipment is generous right across the range. You get sat-nav, Bluetooth, leather, electric operation for the backrest of your seat and the steering column. And I could go on about the safety equipment, but there's far too much for me to talk about in this short review. All CLSs come with Mercedes' smooth 7-gear Tronic automatic, and there's a wide choice of engines, the best being the 350 CDI diesel, as it does 0 to 62 miles an hour in just 6.2 seconds, yet returns almost 47 miles per gallon. Thankfully, even at speed, the CLS is a very quiet place to be. You do get a bit of wind whistle from the wing mirrors, but other than that, hardly any noise enters the cabin at all, and that means it's great for going up and down the motorway. However, get it on a twisty back route such as this and it will really put a smile on your face because it sits lower and wider than a normal E-Class, and it just goes round corners so very well for a car of this size. There's loads of grip, it's very poised, doesn't roll about at all, and the steering is super sharp. The only problem is that the suspension can feel a bit firm, and that means if you want the ultimate in comfort, you have to pay the extra for the optional air suspension. As for other problems, well, rear visibility is pretty limited, which means you have to rely on the standard fit parking sensors. That isn't ideal. Also, the steering wheel is offset, which means you can feel twisted while driving, and I don't like these foot-operated parking brakes because, quite frankly, on a car that costs this much, you should get an electronic one. If you follow me into the back, I'll show you another problem. Now, my issue isn't with knee room because that is very generous. So too is headroom. Even 6-footers should be fine despite that sloping roofline. My problem is with the fact that the back windows are pretty small, and so it can feel a bit dark, dingy and claustrophobic in here. Also, there's only 2 seats, which does limit practicality. But really, that's all nitpicking because the CLS is as stylish as a coupe with the added benefit of some rear doors. And overall, it's a very desirable machine because it's not only great to look at, it's also great to drive too.